All right, so how is your consumer and producer surplus affected by maximum and minimum prices? All right, to start off, we draw your equilibrium. There is your supply curve, demand curve, and your market price. All right, you got your quantity and you got your price. Now, you can see where your original consumer and your original producer surpluses are in that case. Okay. What's going to happen though, right? When government sets, let's say for example, they are setting a minimum price, okay? They're going to set a minimum price above the market equilibrium in order to affect this market. Now, the market was quite happily to trade at 10 Rand a product, but now the government says the minimum price you can charge for your product is 12 Rand. Okay? If you are a producer, okay, and you've got 1,000,000 products to sell, and there are only 3 customers that want to buy 1 product each, how many products will you sell? Not a trick question. You got 1,000,000 products in your store, and only 3 people want to buy 1 product each. How many will you sell? 3. Doesn't matter how many you've got. You can only sell however many products are being demanded by your consumers. Okay. And the same works for consumers. If there are 1,000,000 people wanting to buy a product, and the only shop in the entire country has 3 of those products to sell, how many people will buy those products? 3. Doesn't matter how many people want to buy it. It matters how many people want to buy and sell together. All right, so what you need to remember is that when you put in a price minimum, when the government puts in this price minimum, look where we intersect the demand curve at Q1. Look where we intersect the supply curve, Q2. All right. So we can see that the quantity supplied has increased, the quantity demanded has decreased. But it doesn't really matter what the quantity supplied is, because even if it is 1,000,000 units, you will not sell 1,000,000 units. You will only sell as many as are being demanded by the economy. So what I'm saying is that with your price intervention, okay, in this case the price minimum, trade will be chopped off at that point. That's where trade will stop. So we would have bought and sold Q0 units of this product, but now after the price minimum, we are only going to trade Q1 of these products. Okay. Now, how does that affect your producer and consumer surplus? Our original consumer surplus was A, B, C, that triangle. Our original producer surplus was B, C, D. Do you agree? But now what happens with our price intervention? Look what happens to the, let's start with the consumer surplus. So consumer surplus was originally ABC. Now with the price increase, consumer surplus has been eroded to A, G, F. So what's happened to consumer surplus? It is decreased. Okay. Now, this rectangle, F, G, B, E, right? That yellow rectangle was originally part of your consumer surplus. But now, with the price increase, producers have obviously gained from a price increase. So that yellow rectangle has been transferred from consumer surplus to producer surplus. Okay. Do you agree? So producer surplus has grown from ECD they have gained that yellow area. But now because trade has been chopped off at this point over here at Q1, there has also been a loss to both producers and consumers. The loss is FHC. So that black triangle has been lost to both producers and consumers. Okay. Now, because it has been lost to both producers and consumers, it is called welfare costs. Thank you. So, it is a loss to society. Both producers and consumers have lost that triangle. Okay. The yellow rectangle would not form part of our welfare costs because although consumers did lose that area, it was transferred from consumers to producers. So between them, that yellow rectangle still remains with the producers and consumers. Okay. But that black triangle there, FHC, has been lost to the entire market, producers and consumers. Okay, does it make sense? So now the new producer surplus is in fact this area. This is our new producer surplus. This is our new consumer surplus. And this is what we call a deadweight loss to society. Okay. Because both producers and consumers have lost that triangle.